Hello, good morning children. Today in this video I am going to explain class 8th third chapter, civics third chapter, why do we need a parliament. So second lesson, understanding secularism over. Okay, in India having a constitution and providing the rights of citizens with fundamental rights, everything you have learned. Now for the ruling of the country, for the governance of the country, why do we need a parliament? Let's go and see this lesson. Why do we need a parliament? Okay, let's see. We in India pride ourselves on being a democracy. For this our democracy, we are feeling very pride. Here, we will try and understand the relation between the ideas of participation in decision making and the need for all democratic governments to have the consent of their citizens. So, as Indian citizens, we are having universal adult franchise. With the universal adult franchise, all the Indians are participating in choosing their leaders, and at the same time we are indirectly involving in decision making also. It is these elements that together make us a democracy, and this is best expressed in the institution of the parliament. So these elements, okay, together make us a democracy, and this is best expressed in the institution of the parliament. So this decision making and participation in governing, all these elements will make us in the form of parliament. Okay, in this chapter we will try to see how the parliament enables citizens of India to participate in decision making and control the government, thus making it the most important symbol of Indian democracy and a key feature of the constitution. So in this chapter you are going to learn how people are indirectly involved in forming the government, what is the role of the people in the making of the government, at the same time how this government forms, and what is the why we need this parliament. Everything you will learn in this chapter. Why should people decide? Why should people decide? You know already, only people, citizens will elect their representatives, and those representatives, they will elected as leaders, and those leaders according to the wishes of the people they will rule the country. So here the question is, why should people decide? Why should people decide? If people participation is not there, means how it will be? If only some people, a group of people will form the government according to their wish, they form the government and they rule the country, means will it be acceptable by all the citizens? No, it will come as monarch. Okay, because there also one king or queen, and with only one group, some they will suggest and this, but people's rights will be violated. So what is the rule of the democracy here? People participation in all the aspects, it's necessary. So that's why should people decide? People participation must be there in the forming of government. Let's see. India, as we know, became independent on 15th August 1947. You know, we got freedom on 15th August 1947. 1947. Preceding this was a long and difficult struggle in which many sections of society participated. You know, in the freedom struggle, already you have learned in the earlier classes how much people struggled for this freedom, how many people died in that struggle. People from various backgrounds joined the struggle, and they were inspired by the ideas of freedom, equality and participation. So our nationalists, they have fought for three ideas. What are they? First one, freedom. Second one is equality. Okay, freedom, equality, and the third one is participation. Okay, So these three are very important: freedom, equality, participation. Our nationalists, they fought for these three ideas so that all our Indian citizens should have these and they enjoy these three elements. Under colonial rule, the people had lived in fear of the British government and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. So, under colonial rule, what is colonial rule in the history chapters you have learned. Okay, subjugating another country in economic, cultural, and social backgrounds. The people had lived in fear of the British government. People feared of everything, whatever happened, how the British ruled, how they tortured, how they harassed Indians, and did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. The British took the decisions opposite to the Indians. So our Indians will not agree them. For that, they have faced grave danger if they try to criticize these decisions. So the people who opposed the British, they faced grave danger also. The freedom movement changed this situation. The nationalists began to openly criticize the British government and make demands. So when the awareness came, people started questioning the British government. And they started a movement also. As far back as 1885, the Indian National Congress demanded that there be elected members in the legislature with a right to discuss the budget and ask questions. So, Indian National Congress, when it happened, INC, Indian National Congress, in 1885 only, our leaders, nationalists, they have asked the British people, why only you people will decide, why you only ruling, why you only taking decisions. So, our Indians also will participate in decision making. So, give us a chance in decision making also for the functioning of the government. Give chance for Indians also, like our nationalists asked the British people. Right to discuss the budget and ask the questions. What is the budget? How much revenue you are collecting from Indians and what you are doing with the money? Are you using that for the sake of India or what you are doing? Like that, the decision making, and they have asked for the right to ask questions. The Government of India Act 1909. So, this Government of India Act, Government of India Act, this was famous. This came in 1909. Allowed for some elected representation. So, in 1885 they have demanded. So, after 15 and then 25 years, after approximately after 25 years, they have, that means British people, they have given a small chance to only some people, few people they have given, okay, in decision making. As you read in chapter 1, the experience of colonial rule as well as the participation of different people in the struggle for freedom left little doubt in the minds of the nationalists that all persons in independent India would be able to participate in making decisions. Of course, they have only few people. You know, what is the population of the country, how many citizens are there. Then also, our nationalists have the doubt whether Indians will get the chance, okay, in participation of making decisions. With the coming of independence, we were going to be citizens of a free country. If independence comes, then the people will be the citizens of a free country. This did not mean that the government could do what it felt like. It meant that the government had to be sensitive to people's needs and demands. So, nationalists, what their thoughts were? They thought whatever faced during the colonial rule, it should not be repeated. At the same time, Indians making government means it should not lie in their only particular hands of the particular people's hands. The government should represent all the wishes of the people. That is only thought of the nationalists. The dreams and aspirations of the freedom struggle were made concrete in the Constitution of Independent India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise, that all adult citizens of the country have the right to vote. The dreams and aspirations of the freedom struggle were made concrete in the Constitution of Independent India that laid down the principle of universal adult franchise. That means here all the citizens' involvement in making decision. Next, people and their representatives. The takeoff point for a democracy is the idea of consent, the desire, approval and participation of people. Here, democracy means, what is democracy? See, main points are these. First of all, there will be people's participation must be there. Okay, people participation. Consent, desire, approval and participation. These are the main key points of democracy. In all these four levels, people, according to the citizens, Indian citizens, the democracy, these are the main points of the democracy. All these points should be there. That is what nationalists felt. It is the decision of people that creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning. So, in democratic country, in a democracy, the decision is of peoples only. The basic idea in this kind of democracy is that the individual or the citizen is the most important person, and that in principle, the government as well as other public institutions need to have the trust of these citizens. So, at the same time, after forming the government also, that government should keep up the trust of the people. If people trust the government, then only it can survive. If people don't have the belief in the government, means what they will do? They will automatically, they will show their disrespect towards the government. So, all the government institutions should work according to the wish of the citizens of the country. That is the main motto. How does the individual give approval to the government? How? Here it has been said that each individual should give the approval. Why it is necessary? How does the individual give approval to the government? Why? If I am not supporting the government's decision, how it will be? How it will be acceptable? How I can say that? One way of doing so, as you read, is through elections. So, every citizen with their vote only, they can say their approval or disapproval towards their representatives. If they trust the representative, means they will choose him as leader. If the person is who stood as a nominee, if the person is not good, if people don't believe, means they can't elect him. So, here each and every individual has the right to give his approval. People would elect their representatives to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives forms the government. So, people, I explained already, people would elect their representatives to the parliament. Then one group from among these elected representatives form the government. The parliament, which is made up of all representatives together, controls and guides the government. So, you know already how the assembly works, how, leader, elected members, already came in 7th class. Elected members, they will select the leader, and the leader will become CM, and he will elect his team. They will become ministers, and all this, they will form government, and they will go and work in the parliament. Here country level means PM. Okay. sense, people through their chosen representatives form the government and also control it. So the leader will become the PM and his team they will form the parliament, and all this government they will rule the country. The above idea of representation has been an important theme in your class 6th and 7th social and political life textbooks. Already this procedure and everything you have learnt in your previous classes also. You are familiar with how representatives are chosen at different levels of government. Let us recall the ideas by doing the following exercises. So here in the textbook you are given some exercises. Okay. With this you will recall. Okay, I will just read. Okay, we will do this exercise in the class. Use the terms constituency and represent to explain who an MLA is and how the person gets elected. So by using the terms constituency and represent to explain about MLA, you know who is an MLA, what is a constituency. Okay, for election purpose some particular area will be declared as constituency. For that constituency one representative will be participated, contestant will be there, and some different members will stood for the representatives, and people will elect the members. The person who gets the majority, he will become the member. Yes or not? He will become the who has won that constituency. He will represent that constituency. So later he will be called as MLA. That means Member of Legislative Assembly. So that is the first one. Next, discuss with your teacher on difference between a state legislative assembly and the parliament. You know, state legislative assembly means it's to the state level. Here these MLAs they will select their leader, and that MLA, that leader will become CM, Chief Minister, and MPs, those who elected as member of parliaments, they will elect their leader, and that person will become as Prime Minister. So this is here state level, and state legislative assembly is at a state level, and parliament is at a national level. Next, some more exercises are given. We will discuss about them in the next video. Okay. Next, the role of the parliament. So here this lesson is about parliament. So what is the role of the parliament? Let's see. The role of the parliament. Okay, what is the role of the parliament? Created after 1947, the Indian Parliament is an expression of the faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. So after 1947, our nationalists they have fought for the wishes of the people. So here democracy also would represent the wishes of the people only. These are participation by people in the decision making process and government by consent. The parliament in our system has immense powers because it is the representative of the people. So that parliament, okay, parliament means the representatives of the people only will be there. So that parliament has the system, immense power, because it is the representative of its people. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature. The Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. So Lok Sabha elections also will be conducted every 5 years. The country is divided into numerous constituencies as shown in the map on page 41. Each of these constituencies elects one person to the parliament. So from every constituency, one person will be elected to the parliament. The candidates who contest elections usually belong to different political parties. Okay, different political parties. You know already, if in one place we are having so many political parties like Congress, BJP, Trinamool Congress, BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party, like that. National level parties are there, local level parties, it is YSRCP, TDP, like these parties. So from all these parties they will represent some candidates. Okay, so in these elections they will ask their candidates to participate in elections. The candidates who contest, they will contest in elections from different political parties. With the help of the table below, let us understand this further. So here it is a table given from each party, how many MLAs they elected, like that. Okay. This is results of 8th Lok Sabha elections 1984. Okay. BJP, number of MPs elected 2 members. CPI, Communist Party of India, 6 members. CPM, Communist Party of India, Marquis. CPM, from this party 22 MPs, that means member of parliament, 22. This party 22 members elected to parliament. Next, Indian Congress Socialists, ICS, from this party 4 members elected. Indian National Congress, INC, from this 404 members as elected as MPs. Janata Party, JNP, 10 members. Lok Dal, 3 members. Next, state level parties, like that. So total 514 members, MPs were elected as to the parliament. Next, once elected, these candidates become members of parliament or MPs. When they won the elections, they will be declared as members of parliament, that is MPs. These MPs together make up the parliament. Once elections to the parliament have taken place, the parliament needs to perform the following functions. So this is the forming of the role of the parliament. Next, functions of the government, everything you will learn in the next video. I hope you understood this content, children. Thank you. Have a nice day.